Hi, everybody, and it's great to see so many of you here today. It looks like Mother Nature is smiling on Upstate, and we've had some wonderful late summer days. So thank you all for making the journey, and I hope you're enjoying the speakers that are participating in the program, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the lunch and the awards in the afternoon. Last year was sort of an interesting year for us because we realized that there is a very large number of companies that are out there that are not necessarily making it into the daily news feed, into the consciousness of people in other communities across Upstate, and sometimes they're not even found, you don't even find people in those communities that know about these companies. So we set out to create a venture CEO survey for the first time, just to try and get a handle on who these are, because some of these companies are bootstrapped, they're not necessarily venture backed, they may not have won a famous competition, but nonetheless they're bringing in millions of dollars into our communities, growing fast, hiring a lot of people. And it was a 5-minute online survey. We had it open for 4 weeks in October, and we ended up with about 115 respondents. So what I wanted to do today was to really share with you some of the key findings, and obviously we're going to do this again, and we'd love your help in identifying more companies that fit this mold. So, all right. So what did we learn about the market itself? 115 companies. We were surprised that 50% of them were fairly young, less than 6 years old. 90% said that their target market is national or global. So these are not traditional small businesses. These are businesses that are trying to go after very large markets and that don't see geography as a constraint. They see themselves as competing on a national or a global stage. Extremely diverse. I know that we like to think in terms of clusters, we like to think in terms of historical roots. What we found was that there were 47 different industry codes that categorized these 115 companies. And when we looked across the spectrum, across the geography, what we found was that in this day and age, you can find people building any kind of company in any kind of community. They're really, we're in a remarkable age where location is less of a factor in terms of someone's desire and ability to start a company than it ever was. The other interesting piece was the workforce. I mean, these are things that we suspected, but seeing the data really made us realize that there's something very different going on here. 90% of the respondents said that average payroll was over $40,000 a year. So we just asked them to divide their payroll by the number of employees that they had. 40% said that it was over $75,000 a year. So these are really well-paying jobs. And then 3/4 of all the respondents said that 8 out of 10 jobs required a college degree. So this tells you that we have an opportunity with these companies to really work on our amazing group of 110 colleges and universities in Upstate and create a pathway for these graduates. We have 100,000 people graduating every year. And we have these amazing companies that are looking to hire them. So how can we build more connectivity between them? And then last but not least, we were assisted in doing the survey by the Center for Government Research, which is an econometric group out of Rochester. And they applied some of their models, and this is what we found. These 115 companies employed just under 5,000 people, but there were an additional 3,000 jobs created in the economy on the basis of these companies. And together, that amounted to almost a $500 million payroll. What were their 5-year plans? Well, everybody is looking for funding. That's not a surprise. But if you look at the kind of growth that is being projected, these companies alone were projecting nearly 13,000 new jobs in 5 years. And that would raise their annual payroll to about $1.5 billion. So Obviously, all of us know that high growth companies have ambitions and high failure rates, but even if we are achieving a half or a third of what these people are doing, these are still phenomenal growth opportunities. And then the key takeaways from that were, number one, we got 115 respondents in just 4 weeks. And the assessment from CGR was that there could be almost 1,000 or more companies just like this in our region based on what's typical for response rates for surveys of this kind. And that's a number that sounds right to us, but we only have identified a few hundred of those. So we really need all of you in the audience, everyone you know, as you are coming across these fast-growing companies, please bring them to our attention so that we can make sure that we are there to help them as a community, and that we're there to shine a spotlight on them. Because each of them needs connectivity to advisors, mentors, and partners. They need access to investment capital, and I'm glad that so many people from the Upstate Capital Association are here, including Noah and Jen Teagan and a whole group of other people, Dan Penberthy. And they definitely need access to college education talent, which is well represented in our group here and across the region. So please help us identify those teams, and when the survey comes out, you will all receive an email. If you know, please share it with the CEOs that you know that would like to participate, because we would love to have more data, and our goal is to go into a little bit more of a deeper dive this year to get an even better understanding, and hopefully next year I'll be here presenting those results to you as well. So thank you very much.